Everything's everywhere. Right. Ugh. What an introduction.
Hello!
Hey.
Welcome to Nightmare Dragon Gaming!
Where we have been Bravo 6 going dark for the past couple of days, and we apologize for that. However, as they say, shit happens, you know? So, I figured it would be probably a good idea to start by explaining our absence.
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't that long, but I still feel obligated, you know? So
do you wanna...
I mean, the first time was my absence. Gosh, what the heck is killing me here? Okay, so yeah, so my absence was... What is hitting me? Oh, I am just getting... Look, do you see this, Joey? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I hate quit die friggin' fire. Let me up.
Alrighty then.
Alright, anywho. So, the first week was me, because I had a thing. We were going to Wisconsin with my family this like last week, and I was working all week, so I was trying. I was unable to record that week, so I figured, in hindsight, I probably should have asked you what you thought. But
that's fine. I mean,
I was like, we'll be fine. We can just record next week, and then I go to record next week, and Joey.
yeah, no worries about that, cause so when it came to me, I called Eric and I told him, I'm like, Eric, you know that I do everything, you know, to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, if something comes up or something happens,
You are fairly reliable when it comes to this channel.
I told him, I'm just like, I literally cannot this week because I'm watching my nephew, who, as I told Eric, is, I call him my favorite nephew, but he's also my only nephew. So, and oh wow, he's been quite the handful.
Yeah.
And I just told Eric, I'm just like, I'm gonna need the whole week.
Which I'm like, you know, what am I gonna say, you know?
Cause like, I even thought, you know, I'm like, maybe I could do it with him around, but no, even when I put him down for a nap, he's a bundle of energy, and like he's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps on going.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like that one time we were recording Bendy, and do you remember my little cousins decided to walk in at that very moment, and we're like, no.
Yeah, I told him, just like, you know, I love spending time with you. I really enjoy it.
I just hate you.
But I like it so much better when you're good.
See, I love spending time with you, but I like it a lot more when you're not here.
That's the thing, like, my mom's like, oh yeah, you know, I took a vacation. Like, well, I feel like I have a job.
Oh, she said, like, it's like a vacation, but you're like, I have a job?
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, I was talking to Eric about it. Like, I said to them, I said, you know,
I just do?
if I'm going to be watching him for the whole day, I need someone to take him at night, because, you know, I need sleep to prepare for him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they also awful planning on everyone's part, because it was the same week as my mom's boyfriend's surgery, and so yeah, and so she's like, well Tom, you know, he has to wake up early tomorrow. Well, Tom just got back from surgery, and as you know, normally I would feel bad, and I do. I ask him how he's feeling and such, but as I told Eric, he chose to do it. I feel no pity. The doctor didn't tell him to get the surgery. The doctor's like, I don't know, you can get it if you want, but... And so like, I've had to, like, wait on him hand and I told Mom, I said, I've already had to wipe Damien. I am not wiping him. I don't need another child on my hands.
Yeah, right? Like, this is the opposite of what I need. Oh, no, not like this. Oh.
So yeah.
Normally
how have you been?
I've been alright. Zeus stuff's been going really well, that's for sure.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned on the show, but I have access to a ton more animals than I did last year, which is just great. Which is in part to the fact that Asia hired a bunch of fuck.
I haven't heard of that species.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
It's endangered.
Yes, incredibly. It's called. You see, there's a species that's incredibly endangered. It's called my virginity. It needs saving. But, anywho, so Asia hired like a specific person to like train people on animals because last year she did not have the time for it, which understandable. She's fairly busy, but yeah, so it would be better if there was someone who could do that. So she had a guy this time, and he was great. I'm cleared on everything I can be aside from the what's it called? The prehensile tailed skink. Yes. Okay.
And the fox?
The what?
The fox.
I thought you said the fox. And I'm like, yeah, but the foxes aren't really handling animals, you know.
What does he say though?
That's a good question. I really stopped giving a shit after 2005.
But
Some of you may think the song wasn't out by then. Well, you see, that just implies how much I'm done with that song. Honestly, I'd always get that song confused with that series of videos called like "How Do Animals Eat Their Food?" Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird series. But anywho, so I've actually got a couple of funny stories from this week. Well, one of them's funny, the other one's just kind of fun. But so this week I did two wildlife theaters, like groups of animals. The first one is funny. The second one is it's just a nice story. But so on Thursday I did a themed wildlife theater for like I called it animals that like it wet because I couldn't say like, oh, they're all marine animals because one of them is a salamander. So
please never say who like it wet.
Quiet, you. Ah! Space Jump is giving me grief. I swear I'm good at Metroid, but I've beaten this game before. You guys watched me beat now. Anywho, so I was doing animals that like it wet. So the two animals I grabbed were the hermit crab and the our eastern tiger salamander. Sally and Hades, if you will. But so what happened was I grabbed my two animals. Sally's in the Discovery Center, so she was the first priority because she would take longer to get. Oh my god. But yeah, so I grabbed Sally and I grabbed Hades, or I think I grabbed Hades. So there was 5 shells in that room, or in that tank, and I grab one of them. I don't want to disturb the little guy, so I just kind of I try to tilt it up. I grab the one that's the heaviest, and I'm like, okay, this is most likely him. And then I get to the program. First one goes well. It's like the preschoolers and like the little kids, And then I go to the second one, which is like kind of like middle schoolers, and I trip forward a bit during the presentation while holding the crab. I didn't take him out of the tank because Hades is shy, so I'm like, what's the point? I can't touch him anyways. Might as well keep him comfortable, and we didn't bring a spray bottle to keep them moist, so... Or no, we did bring a spray bottle. But yeah, so... I trip forward, and the shell rolls forward, and I'm like, oh, my first thought was, oh no, he might get hurt. And then as the shell rolls over, my next thought is, oh no, there's no crab in here. The shell was empty. So I then proceed to give the rest of the program as if there's a crab in there. And no one could tell the difference. Like, honestly, they didn't know that. And so after the program, I go back to the Discovery and the basement in a panic. Ooh, cool, plasma beam. Yeah, I go back in a panic because, there's no crab. So yeah. So
Did you find the crab?
I did. So when
Okay.
here's the thing, I checked all the shells first. Like the ones that are out, they were fairly obvious in the tank. And then I go to the animal care specialist, and I'm like, okay, dude, I just want to make sure, is there a crab in here? Because one of the other ones had died recently, and I just wanted to make sure that there was indeed a crab. And then he just picks up the little, like, plastic cave that we have in there. And there he was. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So you mean to tell me it was shell time?
It was indeed shell time. But the funny thing is, so I was pretty embarrassed, but I wasn't too terribly distraught, because in the realm of mishaps during a wildlife theater, that's probably the best one, because the kids still got their wildlife theater, they still felt engaged, they can't touch them anyways, so they didn't really lose anything on that front, and everyone thought there was a crab, and the crab didn't get hurt, which is the most important thing. There was literally no harm to the crab because he never left his tank. He was just sitting in there the whole time, making me look like a complete moron. So
As Eric's over here just fucking panic.
I'm just in panic mode. But yeah, so that was fun on Thursday, and Friday was better in my opinion, just in general. Mostly because, well, I brought all the animals, so there's that.
Yeah.
And then, so on that day, I did a wildlife theater on Madagascar animals, because if last year taught me anything, I want to keep it fresh for the kids, you know?
Yeah.
I want to repeat animals as little as possible. And so basically, we've had a few animals that are off programs that I would be able to use under normal circumstances, but they're not feeling the best. Our milk snake is having some back issues, but I believe she's getting treated for that. And our hedgehog she's just kind of jittery right now, so we're giving her some time off. So that's two animals off the table. So I was a bit upset by that, but you know, what am I gonna do, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did the calculations. Only one animal would have been needed to repeat this week, and I chose it to be the cockroach because that was the one that they had seen only once, and that was on Monday. So
I'm thinking like hedgehogs have got to be at their peak at the moment with the Sonic movie.
oh yeah, if you could pet them, that is. But I got pretty close to a hedgehog though, so I grabbed a cockroach, and I grabbed... Have I told you about Gilly?
I don't know.
Gilly is our lesser Madagascar hedgehog tenrec. And she is an absolute sweetheart. Like, honestly, Gilly is great. So, she basically looks like a hedgehog, but, like, more pinkish and brown, and she's thinner. Like, hedgehogs, when I think hedgehog, I think, like, round. These guys are more long, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and the best part is, so, Gilly is very particular, meaning that, she's only allowed to be used, so she gets very jittery if you use her too much, to the point where she'll stop eating. Which, you know, we don't want that. So we only use her, so she has a rule where you can only use her every 3 days. Like, once every 3 days. And, you know, it makes using her kind of hard sometimes, as you would expect, because you have to ask first to make sure that nobody else needs her in the next few days, because if you use her, then no one else can use her for the next 3 days, so.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I got denied because, one of the other staff members needed her for a program, which, you know, upsetting but understandable, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this week, I asked my manager, and she said that yeah, go for it. I'm like, yes! So I pulled out Gilly. The most difficult part was getting her out of the tank, because she decided to go in the absolute worst spot, behind her, like, little climbing wall. So I had to move everything to pick her up. But after that, she was just the best. The kids loved her. She was great in my hands. She's an arboreal species, so she already kind of knows what she's doing when it comes to climbing around in your hands. So it's like I can trust her and she can trust me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is just the best, honestly. The kids loved her. She's obviously very popular because she's very cute. And the it was also kind of cool because one of the other interns I was working with, Asia wanted him to you know, start on programs. So I had him take the cockroach. Keep it nice and easy for his like first time going out. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice double team effort, you know?
See, you were talking about feeding the animals, and funny enough, I fed some animals this week as well.
Oh, nice. But we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk about that next time.